All right, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, it's still today in the news, and we're down to the newspaper analysis segment where we'll be joined in by Mr. Albert Oladapo OGUNWUSI, who was the former editor of Nigerian Tribune and also a practicing lawyer. You're welcome, sir. Hello, sir. Are you with me?
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. So we move straight to the front pages of the newspaper, and we're discussing hard tax for APC over zoning and party chair. So my first question to you is, why is it very hard for the APC party to pick its party chair?
Well, the APC seems to have had more than its fair share of intra-party wranglings in recent time. The way Oshiomhole became chairman, I'm chairman of the party, reminds one of the way road transport workers take over leadership at the garage. Interestingly, it is the same format that
Hello, sir.
saw him out of the leadership of the body was just a cut key. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, I said that the APC seems to have had more than its fair share of intra-party rankings. That this is not the first time that the chairman of the APC will be removed using methods that will remind you of road transport workers when they want to have a leadership change at the garage. So we now have a similar crisis, and such issues do not get settled at once. So we still have ripples, and it will be very difficult without very intense presidential intervention to see how this matter will come to a peaceful conclusion at the end of the day. And don't forget that 2023 is far more important than the moment. And the meaning of that is that it may come to a situation whereby people will not even accord the present president any serious respect anymore, because everybody has their eyes on the coming election in 3 years' time.
All right, you said the president's intervention. Mr. Albert, can you hear me? Okay, you said the president's intervention. Yes, you said the president's intervention will be needed, but then we've seen how the president has been quiet for a long time, up until they had the meeting where they dissolved the NWC. How much do you think that the president's intervention will be needed in this whole national party chair that is needed for the APC?
Well, I think it will be really hard, because the issue at stake is not the present. The issue at stake is the next election in 3 years' time. And I do not see anybody or any device coming down like a Deus Ex Machina and solving the problem. It's like magic. It's going to be really hard. And at the end of it, we get the party, permanently fractured.
All right, so in the southeast, there are pockets of oppositions to secede the chairman to the area of over what they consider as a plot to zone out the presidential ticket of the party from the southeast in 2023. What's your take on that one?
Well, if you ask me as a Nigerian, I think the zoning principle that was adopted, no, it's not part of the constitution, but it seems to be part of the political chemistry of the country. I think time somebody from that office, well, they both seem to be in very poor position now as regards their ability to negotiate and muscle in on the other parts of the country. But it is obvious that if you use, it's either you use pendulation or rotation. I think the idea is to use pendulation along with rotation, like it moves to the south, comes back to the north, then goes back to the south again. Meanwhile, within the south, it keeps moving around. In the south, we have had somebody from the southwest. We have had somebody from the south-south. Then we now have somebody from the, and then the expectation is that you will now have somebody from the southeast. That is what is fair if you are following that principle to the letter.
Okay, you're speaking about rotation. You're speaking about rotation, and Ebiri said that you don't shift goalposts in the middle of a game, and saying that he's basically talking about the fact that the national chair has just stepped down. Don't you think that the remaining years should just continue from his own region?
Well, I'm shocked that Igbos are thinking of becoming chairman of APC, because I think what they should do is how to negotiate with the president.
All right. Okay. So, do you think that a change in the zoning formula in the APC party would affect many things going on in the party? Because there's a lot of issues around there.
Yeah, that's what I was addressing the other time. It is a formula that is not cast in any stone. It's just an idea for the sake of amity and convenience within the party. And it is very clear that those who have power would like to breach that formula. We had a situation whereby in 2003, Obasanjo was challenged that he had an undertaking to leave power after one term. They even had some kind of documentary evidence. But that was not binding on the country, because it's not a constitutional, it's not an article of the Constitution. I think the same thing is going to affect the game in 2003. We all have an open mind. Anything goes. So nobody could say there was an idea that we will take over from you as chairman or what have you. But I sense that if the East wants to be party chairman, then what they are saying is that they are not interested in the presidency.
All right, so let's focus now on Oyo State. The deputy governor of Oyo State was not allowed to be part of the 8th Fidel prayer for the late former governor of Oyo State, Mr. Ajimobi. What do you think about that? Because there's a lot of stories coming from different areas saying that, a faction is saying that they knew that he was coming. Another faction is saying that they did not have any information that the deputy governor was coming.
Well, I think they probably knew the deputy governor was coming. But what I do not appreciate is the fact that the family did not do anything to show that they are ready to embrace a kind of middle ground.
No, but it was
because after the altercations that attended the burial, and the state government decided to shift its own position by still trying to be part of the ceremonies. I think they should have, in the spirit of settlement, try to accommodate the deputy governor, give him a seat. Because the argument by the family, which is sacrosanct, is that there was an instruction or a press release that it was going to be a family affair. And not only that, there were supposed to be only 30 people at the venue, in keeping with the COVID regulations. But the previous day to that ceremony, the state government had sent the secretary to the state government as some sort of an advance, party to try and clear the way for the representation of the government at the prayers. And I think that was the SS2, was told the same thing, that look, it's a family matter and we are trying to keep it only within 30 days. All the same, the deputy governor still went, probably they thought these people were still hungry. But you know what I do not like about all this? Is that the lessons of Ajimobi's demise are being wasted in this, to understand it. Look at it this way. Ajimobi died of so we have on record. Look at where it was buried. Well, did they follow the correct protocol? Because I saw those people handling him almost physically. And probably they had some gloves or something, but I've seen COVID burials. I've seen video footages of COVID burials in other parts of the world. That is not how it is done. Absolutely not. And that is just one out of the many lessons one would expect people to learn.
All right. Okay. But you know, still talking about these, the governor, the deputy governor being denied access to the fidel prayer. You know, it was reported that he came in after the prayer started. And you know, they were still, like, after 10 minutes when they were trying to bring him in, they noticed that he had already gone. You know, they were trying to let him in. So do you think the family is still to be blamed for this?
Frankly, that is the same version that I had. That the deputy governor came rather late, and that they had started the ceremony. And when somebody had tried to make an arrangement for him to come, he had already gone, probably sensing that, you know, it's the same old animosity. That's exactly the same thing I got. But looking at it from both sides, I still think that this crisis, this understanding, is obliterating the lessons that we deserve to learn from the passage of the man. In fact, the man has become almost secondary to all this, you know, rigmarole. And I think it is extremely unfortunate.
All right, you spoke about the fact that you've seen how COVID patients are being buried, you know, outside the country and here in. Who do we fault for, you know, this form of how Nigerians tend to bury their, you know, people who die of COVID? Is it the NCDC for not giving them enough information, or the family members just because they feel like they want to pay their last respect to their, you know, one of their members who is dead already?
Well, this is a very serious issue. It is a plague of some sorts, and so many people have died all over the world. And it's time we got serious as a species of creation. We have had so many deaths, even though we have been lucky in our part of the community, in our part of the human community. All the same, we aren't doing the right things. People still go about without their face masks. They still contact these things. I mean, nightclubs still hold till late in the night. And you cannot imagine that, I mean, everywhere is crowded. Buses, taxis. You ask yourself, is there really any pandemic going on? If there is, are we really serious? Because it's like we are looking for trouble, literally.
You know, still talking about that, we have, you know, there are some persons in Nigeria that Nigerians, they actually don't believe that there's COVID-19. Even those that believe, you know, they actually follow the guidelines, the safety guidelines. So what do you think should be done here? How do you think the government can help? Do you think people who are not following the safety guidelines needs to be punished?
I think the government can go a step higher by legislating on these things. Making certain things compulsory at the pain of punishment. Look, schools are now about to open, and I'm afraid that these children are going to be going about the way their parents have been going about, lackadaisically. I mean, it's a shock. I think government should go a step higher by making these matters a matter, I mean, by subjecting these violations to criminal prosecution.
All right, so we're still talking about COVID-19. We're still talking about COVID-19, and the industry had hit as COVID-19. Hello, Mr. Albert, can you hear me clearly? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we're still speaking about COVID-19. We're speaking about COVID-19, and the industry had hit as COVID-19 upset forex market. But we're going to go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll discuss more on that. Stay with us.
All right.